The international war on terror arrived in the state of Kansas today with the stunning announcement this morning of a suicide bomb plot aimed at Fort Riley.
A Topeka man is now charged with federal charges of attempting a suicide attack on the military post.
We've got the basics of the plot, and Gwen Baumgardner was in federal court here in Topeka this afternoon as the suspect made his first appearance.
Caitlin Berry has been looking into the suspect's background, and Katya Like has been gathering reaction from Fort Riley.
But first, we begin with the government's case against John T. Booker Jr., who has also called himself Mohammed Abdullah Hassan.
It's alleged that he told another individual that detonating a suicide bomb was his #1 aspiration.
In its 13-page indictment, the federal government lays out its case against John T. Booker Jr., self-named Mohammed Abdullah Hassan, and seen here in a photo posted to Facebook. The indictment accuses him of attempting to use a weapon of mass destruction against Fort Riley, of planning to use a bomb to destroy facilities there, and of attempting to support a terrorist group.
He repeatedly stated his desire to engage in violent jihad on behalf of the Islamic State of Iraq, otherwise known as ISIL.
The government says Booker signed up for the Army in February of last year, but then began a series of Facebook posts which drew the attention of the FBI. He was interviewed and admitted he enlisted in the U.S. Army with the intent to commit an insider attack against American soldiers and, quote, wanted to target someone with power. He was denied entry into the Army, let go, and the FBI continued watching him.
Since March of this year, he's been plotting to construct an explosive device for an attack on American soil.
The FBI, working through a confidential informant, watched as Booker rented a storage unit in Topeka and began buying the components for a bomb from local retailers. He made a video which stated in part, quote, "We are going to build this bomb with 1,000 pounds of ammonium nitrate. Inshallah, this will kill many." This morning, the components were moved near Junction City, near Fort Riley, where Booker, with the informant, began assembling the device in a van.
He planned to pull the trigger of the explosives himself so that he would die in the explosion.
At his news conference, U.S. Attorney Barry Grissom, which you just heard there, made 2 points very clear. Booker was under constant surveillance by the FBI, and what Booker thought were explosives were inert. They could not have been detonated. You can find the entire criminal complaint on our website, KSNT.com.
This afternoon, Booker made his first appearance in federal court. The case is the United States of America versus John T. Booker. KSNT News' Gwen Baumgardner was at the courthouse and joins us now. Gwen?
Booker entered the courtroom smiling, where he was told by a federal judge that he's charged with 3 counts for his terrorist-related actions today. The counts include attempt to use a weapon of mass destruction, attempt to maliciously destroy United States Department property, as well as knowingly attempting to provide support to a terrorist organization, which in this case was ISIS. For those counts, he faces life in prison as well as $750,000 in fines. In court, Booker told the judge that he does consider himself a citizen of the United States and that drugs and alcohol were not a factor in today's events. Booker's family was not present at the court appearance. Booker left the courtroom in handcuffs and again smiling. In the studio, Gwen Baumgardner, KSNT News.
Thanks so much, Gwen. And his case will go before a grand jury on April 20th.
We do know that Booker is a Topeka native, so KSNT News' Caitlin Berry went to find out more about him. She joins us live now with details about Booker's background. Caitlin?
Jared, we now know Booker Jr. went to school here at Topeka West. I also went to the parents' house this afternoon, and neighbors tell me he was involved in junior ROTC while in school. I also had the chance to speak with Booker's father briefly, and this exclusive video shows what he had to say.
John did not live here.
Okay.
Okay? I want to make sure that get out clearly, okay? I'll appreciate it if you make sure they put out publicly, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you help direct us in the right direction then? Where was he staying?
He was staying with my nephew. I don't even know where that is.
You don't know that is? Okay.
I talked to John about at least 4 times within the last year.
Okay. You know who might be good to talk to, who might just know him, just be able to give us a bit of information
Well,
about
my nephew, but I don't talk to him that much.
Yeah? Do you have his contact information?
No. My wife do, but she don't want to talk right now.
Okay.
My wife do almost communication to him and the kids. I'm a veteran. I disagree with what happened. I'm upset right now. Okay, thank you.
I also spoke with a number of neighbors who say they didn't hear or see much from Booker Jr., who's pictured here in a photo posted to Facebook. No neighbors wanted to speak with me on camera, but several Topeka community members say they're surprised to learn someone from here at home would be involved with a terrorist organization.
I'm shocked, I guess, that anyone here would have the values that they have, or maybe I should say lack of values that they have.
Others say with the internet today, unfortunately, it's something that could happen anywhere.
Everybody's online and everybody's, and ISIS is worming its way into companies' computer systems and taking over their computer systems, and obviously they're getting the information about soldiers and publishing that information, so I don't think it's impossible at all.
I did speak with one neighbor who says her children grew up and went to school with Booker and his twin brother. She says his parents are wonderful people and she's shocked that he would have any involvement with ISIS. Live in Southwest Topeka, Caitlin Berry, KSNT News.
Thank you for that report, Caitlin. We'll continue digging to learn more about the storage locker Booker allegedly kept full of explosives right here in Topeka.
Governor Sam Brownback issued a statement this afternoon on the arrest. He says, "I appreciate the diligence of the FBI and members of the Joint Terrorism Task Force for working together to successfully thwart this potential attack. The state has worked hard to enhance the collaborative efforts of local, state, and federal partners in matters of homeland security and to protect Kansans." He also said today's arrest serves as a reminder that even here in America's heartland, we must remain vigilant against threats to our nation.
As we've said, the target of the attack was to have been Fort Riley, located between Manhattan and Junction City.
KSNT News' Katia Legg joins us live from Fort Riley with reaction from the Post. Katia?
The overall reaction here is one of shock and surprise. The arrest happened here in Junction City, somewhere we're not told exactly where. There are more than 25,000 people employed in Junction City. They're civilian constructors at the Post, and many of them are the families of the troops stationed here.
It's sad to think that it's a reality that we have to face now. You don't want it to consume you. You can't live your life that way. But you still have to have it in the back of your mind that there are people who don't want you to do, to live your lives normally. They want to destroy us, and that's really sad.
Lisa tells me there are lots of families who are taking down pictures and their last names off of social media in fear of ISIS finding their families. At Fort Riley, Katia Legg, KSNT News.
Thanks so much, Katia. And coming up at 6, hear more from Lisa and more on concerns for her own family.